15 Steps to Master Self-Discipline. Welcome to alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello, Aluxers. It feels amazing to dive into this particular topic. You've been bugging us for multiple weeks that this is the video you want to see, and although we touched upon this topic in several other videos, we felt like it needed its own dedicated video. Your ability to discipline your actions and your mind is probably the most important skill you'll ever need on your journey to success. Without it, the only thing you can hope for is luck. But as you know, Aluxers, we're not big on luck. I mean, don't get us wrong. It's nice to catch a break and get lucky, but if luck is your strategy to success, I'm afraid we can't be friends. Self-discipline is one of the hardest things to master and implement because we live in a world filled with distractions, and we are bombarded by shiny things promising us happiness and fulfillment, only to be disappointed by a fading state and some money poorly spent. Listen carefully, because this is why you should pay attention to this video. If you master self-discipline, any feasible dream becomes an objective that is separated from you only by time. Go through that again if you need to. Write it down until you truly understand that even the longest journey can be achieved if you keep putting one foot in front of the other. We wanted to create a video that not only covers the basic concepts and why discipline is important, but actually offer you, the Aluxers, a blueprint into how to implement this into your daily lives. We're going to be honest with you. It's gonna be hard, and most of you will probably fail at this because you don't have what it takes to make it. Self-discipline is one of the hardest things to master, and it'll probably take you way longer, and it's going to be way more difficult than you ever expected it to be. But for the very few of you who do manage to implement this into your lives, damn, this game is going to be so much easier for you to play and win. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. If you feel ready to start this video, we're ready as well. Now, before we get started, make sure you grab yourself a piece of paper and some writing materials because you'll need to write some of this down if you want to do it right. With that said, here are Alux's 15 steps to mastering self-discipline. Step 1. Define a goal worth fighting for. Now, this is not an easy task because not every goal works. This has to come from within yourself. It needs to be the answer to your life. If this goal happened, your life would dramatically change for the better. Just by thinking of this goal, you should feel a shiver down your spine. Your mind should go wild, and you could actually feel the blood in your body rushing a bit faster through your veins. This goal should be strong enough to get you through the hardest times, through the pain and difficult parts of your journey. This goal will serve as your lighthouse in the distance. It'll be your guiding light to the shore. If the goal is strong enough, you can make it through anything. We've seen soldiers survive the most hazardous environments where chances were slim to none, just because their goal was to see their children again. If you find the right goal, nothing can stand between you and making it happen. If you've watched our previous videos, you know the importance of not bullshitting yourself. So choose a goal that is actually attainable, despite requiring a large amount of time, money, or effort. Don't just write down $1 billion as your goal because it sounds good. Instead, look within yourself at what would be the pillars of your life and what those pillars really are. Usually the main pillars in your life are the following: health, family, money, and self. Health relates to your well-being, your body, your ability to experience the world to its fullest. Family relates to your closest circle, the people you have around you that are the foundation on which you impact the world. Money is the tool that will allow you the freedom to reshape the world according to your expectations. And self has to do with growing yourself, with learning, with the way you perceive the world and how much at peace you are. Goals in these 4 areas could have the biggest impact in your life. If this is the first time you're experimenting with self-discipline, try a smaller goal, something attainable, but just a bit out of your comfort zone. Examples could be losing 5 kilograms, that's 10 pounds. Taking your close ones on a holiday trip this summer where you'll make new memories, saving $200, or reading 10 books by the end of the year. If you've identified a goal worth fighting for, it's time to move on to the second step. Step 2. Deconstruct the goal. Finding a goal was the easy part. Now it's time to analyze it and break it apart. This is what most people never do. If you don't analyze and deconstruct the goal, it's no longer a goal, it's a wish. Anything you could possibly want can be deconstructed into smaller pieces that, when put together, form the bigger picture. Your job here is to identify what are the ingredients for your goal. These are highly subjective to each target one sets, but let's say you're planning to read 10 books in the next 10 weeks. In order to achieve this goal, you'll need the following ingredients. 1. A list of amazing book titles which are worth reading and will elevate your mindset. 2. Actually acquiring the books. Will you be buying them all at once? Will you buy 5 and then 5 more? Will you be reading them off your iPad as an ebook? 3. Time ingredient. When will the reading take place? Will you be reading in the morning? Before you go to bed? Will you listen to them as audiobooks? How long will that take? 4. What is the goal of the goal? Why are you reading the books? If the goal is to just get through 10 books, could you find small novels which you can then finish in 1 or 2 sittings? If the goal is to actually learn something, you'll need to take notes off the books you read, so you'll need a reading journal of some sort where you could store all the valuable nuggets you uncover. As you can see, breaking down the goal to its ingredients gives you a better understanding of what you're about to do, what it takes to do it, and how you can achieve it, as well as a deeper understanding of why the goal is important for you in the first place. Step 3. Make a daily plan that, if followed, will get you to your goal. We love the ingredients metaphor we used above, so let's keep going with that. If deconstructing the goal got us a list of ingredients, this is where you establish the recipe. Without the goal, you'll never think of what goes into achieving it. What are the ingredients that make it happen? That's all great, but you need a recipe to turn the ingredients into a final product, right? If the goal is baking a pie, you need to first get all of the ingredients and then follow a recipe. Makes sense, right? This recipe is your daily plan. Looking at your goal, you'll need to see what are the steps necessary, which will lead to achieving it. The more precise you are with these steps, the better. If your goal is to lose a specific amount of weight, you've probably identified that your ingredients are what you eat, what you drink, and how much physical activity you put into it. The daily plan should make use of these ingredients. Stop eating junk food and instead eat nourishing foods. Eat a caloric deficit, which means you eat less than what you burn in a day. And start increasing your daily activities with cardio like running, swimming, or going to the gym. It's not that complicated, yet people struggle to lose weight because they don't approach it systematically. If the plan is right and you stick to that plan for an extended period of time, you will achieve your goal. Step 4. Remove temptations or distractions. No matter how much you want it, there will always be a part of your brain that's aware of your environment and highlights whatever shiny thing is around you. This is where you take control of your environment. The person who controls their environment controls their life. When deconstructing this goal, look for threats, things that could impact your journey negatively, and see what you can do to minimize or to remove it completely. If you're dropping weight, don't have ice cream in the house. If you plan on writing a book, don't start a new TV series. If you're prone to watching a lot of TV, you could actively remove the TV from your house, so the only thing that's left is to focus on your goal. You are in control of what you do, and look at temptations for what they really are. Things designed to keep you from achieving what you want. If you design your environment around your goal, your chances of achieving it increase dramatically, and the time until you do so is cut down by a large amount. Try to come up with backup plans for situations which you were unable to foresee. You're not going to go on a long journey without having a spare tire in your car and some money for emergencies, so make sure you don't get into this journey unprepared. Step 5. Prioritize the goal before anything else. The goal you picked will change your life when you achieve it. That's the premise of this entire thing. The goal is probably the most important thing you can do right now, so it needs to be a priority. Everything else falls to second place. Before you do anything else, you need to take care of your daily steps in order to reach your goal. You're an adult who is in control of their life and their decisions. If the goal you chose could have that much of an impact on your life, why wouldn't you make it your number one priority? If you're writing a book and some things come up, you first take care of your daily writing and then with whatever popped up. If you're losing weight and some friends want to hang out, you first hit the gym and then see your friends. The goal comes first. People waste time on urgent but not important issues and neglect the things that could change their lives for the better. That's why people never escape the rat race. They're too busy fighting urgent but unimportant things and never get around to doing what really would make a difference. Step 6. Don't wait for it to feel right. Getting to where you want to be in life is not going to be easy. Actually, it's going to be really hard. That's why most people will never make it. That's why most people are average. Their lives are average. Their relationships are average. They look forward to the weekend because the other 5 days of the week, they're miserable. Michael Jordan became the greatest of all time because he kept on training in the off-season while the other players were taking a break. This pattern of keeping at it, no matter if you feel motivated, is so important, and without it, you're not going to make it. We know it's something you don't like to hear, but it's the truth. It will require time, effort, and money on a constant basis, and you're not going to be in top shape for the entire run. But you need to keep at it no matter what. How many people have you heard talking about how they're starting a new diet or quitting smoking next week because they think it'll feel right? I'm sorry, but if you really want to be successful at whatever your goal is, you need to start this very second. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best is today. If you only put in the work when you feel like it, the world will reward you when it feels like it, and the world doesn't care about you. That's why you need to do it yourself. Step 7. Force yourself to do it. Some people don't understand that you are not your body. You are your mind, and your mind controls your body. You can actively force your body to perform certain tasks if your mind is strong enough. An individual is defined by their willpower. If you're unable to control your actions, I'm afraid you're not in control of your life, and you're just another speck of dust carried by the wind. It's time to put your foot down and take control. We've already said that it's not going to be a smooth ride, but sometimes it's going to be extremely difficult. This is where your desire for the goal is getting tested. These moments are like boss battles in video games. You need to overcome them in order to progress, despite how difficult the situation may be. Every time you overcome one of these obstacles life throws at you, you'll feel empowered and more committed to getting what you deserve. There'll be days when you don't feel creative, snowy or rainy days when going to the gym will look horrible, business hustles that don't seem to bring any results. You just gotta trust your plan and keep pushing forward. In times like these, remember that goal. Visualize it. Think what it would do for your life, what it would feel like for you to achieve it. That is what you're fighting for. That's why you keep on pushing. Step 8. Find role models who inspire you. The road will be long, and it's easy to feel lonely in this journey, but rest assured you're not the first one that's gone through this. Many people who master self-discipline have already achieved incredible results. These are the people at which the world looks at in awe. They don't understand how someone could attain things that they themselves had failed at in the past. Your goal is to find these people, study them, read their stories. Most of them will share the struggles they went through, and while others look at the end result, we suggest you look at the daily grind before they were even on the map to begin with. Those are the people who are living proof that your goal is attainable because they did it before you. Read about them, watch their interviews, and learn from them wherever you feel like the motivation is dropping. If they can do it, it means it is possible. It doesn't guarantee your success, but it's incredibly reassuring to know someone else walked the road you're walking and reached the same destination you're shooting for. Depending on what goal you set for yourself, find 3 people who have achieved greatness in this field, and from now on, use them as your guiding compass. Step 9. Schedule breaks, treats, and rewards for yourself. We want to start this step with a quote from one of our favorite artists, Banksy. "If you get tired, learn to rest, not to quit." This is such an incredibly valuable insight that just by itself could change the way you look at life. Many people push and push and push until they get tired, and then they quit. The body needs fuel. The mind needs fuel. You need to recharge. If you're to attain your goal, you need to shift the way you're thinking about things. It's not going to be a sprint. Achieving your goals is a marathon. Your ability to properly understand the time and resources it will take to get there is crucial to being a strategic player. Keep tabs on your energy and plan ahead for the times where you'll feel down. It's important to keep yourself motivated. Do reward yourself when you overcome difficult tasks or when you've already covered a good portion of the journey. You've earned it, but don't let it rise to your heart because there's still a long way to go and it's easy to think you've got this in the bag. The rewards should be small parts of what the big goal will feel like. This way, it'll spark your inner flame and your appetite for greatness. Step 10. Failure, even for one day, is not an option. The moment you decide to skip one day, it's the moment you sacrifice your goal. Believe it or not, achieving your objective requires you to be all in on this hand from the beginning to end. We're not exaggerating this. Most people will fail because they think it doesn't matter if they skip one day. What it does is it sets a precedent and already establishes a vulnerability in your foundation. Think of your entire project as a wall. I'm sure Trump loves this reference. Every day, you put another brick in it, but one day you decide to skip it or do a half-assed job. The thing is, the next day you'll have a different slot to fill with your brick, and that vulnerability is now permanently in the wall. Guess what happens when the flooding comes? That wall may be super solid in the remaining time, but that vulnerability, that's what comprises the entire thing. Water will start filtering in. The gap will grow until all of your progress is nothing but rubble. No days off. When you made the plan, you committed to following it. You know that following the plan will get you to where you want to be, so why jeopardize your journey for something that's not going to matter 1 year from now? People fail for many reasons. We actually made an incredible video on the 15 reasons why people fail, which you can check out in the top right corner. We recommend you watch it and identify the threats to your goal in it. See how many vulnerabilities you can find in your own plan. Step 11. Keep track of your progress. It's always shocking to us when people don't measure their progress. We ourselves measure everything, so we have as clear of an understanding of our situation as possible. If you don't measure and keep track of it, you can't improve on it. You need the data, and the only way to get it is by dedicating a portion of your time to it. Measure everything you can measure. This is how you'll uncover things that work and those that don't. Having this type of information will allow you to make educated decisions and not shoot in the dark hoping something hits. There are also side benefits to seeing that the effort you're putting in is actually showing results. Those small wins will motivate you to keep on pushing. We recommend you create a calendar where you record your daily activities. This type of action will also make it easier for you to adopt your new plan as a habit, since now, once you've done your task, you can check it off in your daily calendar. Challenge yourself to keep it as long as you can, and it'll add a new layer to your journey. Step 12. Set monthly milestones. If at the beginning of this video we mentioned you should break the goal down into small steps, we recommend you create specific milestones for the end of the month. They'll act like mini goals, which, when achieved, got you just a bit closer to the big goal. That way, you'll have a deadline right ahead of you, and it'll make things a lot easier for you. The secret is dosing your progress in equal quantities as you progress. Most of you have been educated in school, and one of the things school fails to really teach you is self-discipline when it comes to achieving a task. Remember when you were in school and had a project to complete? What did you do? Did you do a bit every single day, or did you cram the entire thing into the last couple of hours of the day before? Life is not like school in that regard. Quality things take time, patience, and discipline. If you're unable to save $2,000 per month during the year, it's unlikely you'll be able to set aside $20,000 in December. That's why you need to take these milestones. They will also help you to understand how well you're doing. We advise you to pay attention to these milestones. Make sure they're attainable, but big enough to have you push for them. If they're too big, you'll fail to achieve your monthly milestones and get demotivated to push forward. If they're too small, achieving them won't get you closer to your goal, or it'll take way too long, which increases the chances that a third-party event will dismantle your project. Achieving your goal is a strategic play. There is no elevator to your dream life. You need to take the stairs, one step at a time. Step 13. Self